Well, hello there. Let's talk KT. KT as in Kulve Taroth. People are coming back to Monster Hunter World. I've seen a lot of people trying to run the KT Siege, which is completely outclassed and there's no reason to do it. And I've seen way more people joining and hosting the KT event. This is definitely the quest to do, but their builds leave a lot to be desired, and people seem to not really know how it works. So we're going to dispel some rumors and go over that. Alright, first off, before anything else, hit zones. Horns, 90 to Sever, 95 to Blunt, 20 to Shot. As for element, terrible all around. A couple spots have 20s, nothing has a 25 or higher, over a 50% nerf from our elemental zones when this was a high ranked monster. Don't worry about that. Because of that logic that we just discussed, let's look at our sets. For Area 1, we will be using Sticky Gun. This is because Sticky Gun's fixed damage will allow us to deal massive damage to the Horn, regardless of where her head is, and regardless of the terrible shot hit zone value. This is a pretty standard Sticky Gun build. Feel free to look at it. The slinger capacity in the mantle is to try to get an extra use out of the initial stones for wallbangs, because tenderizing her head and then wallbanging her head into walls is a great way to get part damage. There's nothing really crazy here except that my quality of life skills are Evade Extender 3, Divine Blessing 5, and Recovery up 3. This is to allow me to hopefully not get hit, reposition faster, and in order to heal up faster and reapply peak performance. I don't have a lot of fire res on this set, but I have a fireproof mantle that I switched to very quickly, which has the extra KO gems. Pretty logical stuff. Then, for Area 2, and of course Area 3, you pick your favorite Blade Master weapon, except Gunlance. If you're trying to do fixed shelling damage here, you are really wrong. And you pick your highest raw damage build, which is going to be Fatalis weapons if you've got it. That's the whole thing. The only point of contention here on this build is that if you have supplemental poison damage of some kind, you should take it, because she is deceptively weak to poison and the Hunter's Notes sort of lie. And also, you have to make the choice. Do you want to be immune to Fire Blight? Best way to do this is 20 Fire Res, because you're going to be taking chip fire damage a lot from the lava, and reducing that damage as well as negating the Blight is going to increase your peak performance uptime. Or do you want to get Fire Blight on purpose and run Coalescence 3? Totally subjective. I'm not going to decide it for you. You want to maximize your damage and not worry about Partbreaker here, because you won't need it if you do Area 1 the way I'm going to show you. Speaking of poison damage, you notice I have a Poison Kinsect. My Palico here has a poison weapon, and if we check my item loadout, the thing that might stand out to you here are the poison smoke bombs. This is a pretty standard hybrid loadout, so I don't have to switch. I've got the basics, I've got some wetfish stuff so that I'm going to be able to sharpen my Blade Master weapon. I've got my regular buffing, but I also have the prerequisite stuff here to craft extra sticky ammo necessary to play a sticky gun build. If you don't like guns and don't know the basics of gunning, I think you're going to need to look up a different video on that, because customizing your radial menu to use those materials and be able to craft ammo during the quest is 100% necessary. You're going to run out otherwise, and you just won't be able to play. You may have noticed that even though I had the hard fire res deco, I did not have over 20 fire res on Fatalis armor. That's pretty common. You need a very specific armor piece for the 5th part that has 4 native fire res in order to get to exactly 20 on Fatalis gear. So we're going to eat my KT Kimchi here, which has elemental res small. This is the sort of stuff you do when you're optimizing food skills for your builds. So I lose a bit of attack in order to get the elemental res small, that's +5, and that will change my 19 to a 24. I suppose I'll switch sets real quick just to show you. If you guys don't know about food, I'm sure there's a guide for that as well. But if you have over 20 fire res, you don't need to eat any veggies. If you have between 15 and 19, you need to eat 2 veggies. And then, 4 and then 6 and so on. See, 24 fire res. Hunky dory. Switch back to the gun set, let's get going, and I'll talk about the statuses as we load. So I mentioned poison. Her initial tolerance is in fact 150, goes up by 250 each time. Poison procs deal a solid 1400 damage over 35 seconds. Yes, it conflicts with breaking parts, but it's free damage that you should take, and with a Partbreaker 3 sticky gun set, you will break the parts. Do not even worry about it. If for some reason you're using Sappy weapons, just because you're not there to the full endgame yet, the best Sappy weapon here isn't Sappy Ice or Sappy Thunder for the little teeny tidbits of elemental damage. It's definitely Sappy Poison, in conjunction with Poison Palika weapon, Poison Smoke Bombs, yada yada. I'm going to highlight my Poison Smoke Bombs. We're going to equip our Rocksteady Mantle to activate that Stone Thrower. Pick up the stones, that means I'll be able to hold more than 20. Run directly at her without rolling, and go for the Head Tenderize. After this, I'm going to sheath my weapon and do 2 Poison Smoke Bombs. Then I'm going to try to set up a wall bang, but it's tricky because there's a lot of RNG going on with what attack she's doing. Alright, this is actually great. Actually she's a little far. Might not work the way I wanted. I'll do a triple punch, and I'll just do this to get the enrage right away. Alright, that was about as good as I was going to get. No big deal. I'm not going to get an opportunity to do the second wallbang. She will get KO'd before she's able to hit me. This is the product of experience. Now you're going to lay into her with your sticky, equip your special ammo, hit her once with it, reload your stickies, and then switch to para ammo. This is more important if you have other people in the quest, because when she's para'd, you can get a lot of damage. She's one shot from para, so we're going to let her turn around. Para her now. These thresholds are different in multiplayer. If you run this enough, you'll learn them. Don't worry about it. My peak performance is not activated, but I'm not going to heal. I'm going to be shooting, building up a KO, and healing from my recovery up health augment. That's not a big deal that I took that hit, because she's going down. Unfortunately, the Horn Topple chained into a KO. Do not even worry about optimizing stuff like this. It actually works out better in 4-player scaling. Just keep laying into her. Now, we're going to switch to Sleep ammo, because Sleep de-enrages the monster, allowing for an additional wallbang. You can Sleep Bomb. I have bombs. I'm not going to worry about it right now, because all I really want is the wallbangs. They're very, 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 very high value. Shoot more stickies. That was a bad shot. I'm not necessarily the best gunner player. I can pick up some more stones here and try to do one more wallbang, because I managed to do that with only one turn. You can't claw to her head while she's breathing lava, but you can usually get it right afterwards like this. That might have turned too far, we'll see. No, looks like I got it. Shoot more stickies at the horn. Alright, solid. I could shoot my special ammo again, but I'm just gonna sticky till she leaves. This is essentially all I wanted to show for this area. As soon as she leaves, make sure to get your carbs, because we're doing this for materials, and then Farcast her. Ooh, I'm kind of pinned in here. This is actually not great. This is where that Evade Extender 3 really comes into play. A lot of people think that it's overkill. I don't. She's a big monster, and she wiggles a lot. Yeah, so that's over. That was probably over a while ago, and she was just letting us get more damage. This is going to show all the carves, because this is a realistic portrayal of how the hunt goes, not a speedrun. The shinies are not super high value. You can get scales and gold nuggets. Feel free to pick them up if you want. I do switch to Insect Glaive, so I need high value Slinger ammo, and we're going back. No need to restock, since we're not a gun build. Switch to your Blade Master build. Again, any weapon but gun lance is fine. Spec for raw. Even on dual blades, spec for raw. Focus on raw. Get the element you can because it's dual blades, but don't focus on an elemental build. That is not going to win you the day. Let's talk hit zones a little more. So, her head and her horns are the best hit zones. However, her front legs get you some trips and have a pretty solid 70-65 for Sever and Blunt. Not bad, not bad. Her chest is 65-65, only very marginally worse. Not even bad at all. And you're still going to focus the horn here because you are trying to break the horn, but it's dangerous to sit in front of her head directly. That's not a great way to get damage uptime. So, it tends to be smart to hit the leg on purpose, simply because it's an easier target. I'll be going for the stalactite here. A lot of people know this strategy. I mean, it's... No, people have seen this. Alright, she should still be barely under it for this. I'll tenderize a leg too. If you're not an Insect Glaive player and you don't understand what I'm doing, just know that I'm gonna hit for some fucking 450s here, depending on how this hunt goes. On these juicy horns when they're tenderized. It should be almost broken. Not only did she get toppled by that, but it's close to broken. I got a 476 there, that was nice. There's the break. And a lot of that damage was dealt in Area 1. I'm gonna tenderize this leg again, even though there's no reason to. Oh, my mantle wore off. Alright, well, I guess I'm not gonna do that. Time to play normally. Let's say with the poison smoke bombs again. I got punished for that. It was greedy. Tenderizing the chest is not a bad strategy. The chest is a pretty safe area to hit. I'll be focusing legs personally, but if you want to play a little differently, you know. It's your game, man. Go nuts. We're talking about sets and theory, not playstyle. Alright, so that was very short. That's what happens if you get the stalactite. Note that if you feel you're doing bad on damage at this point, especially horn damage, before she enrages in this area, you might be better off tenderizing her head and baiting her to this wall to get another wallbang. The principle of the tenderized head wallbang is going to work all quest. You don't have to only do that in Area 1. I felt like I didn't need it because I'm used to how much damage I'm dealing. You might. If you can wallbang her in this area so she ends up in that lava as it's erupting and you can chain the knockdown into the stalactite, dude, you're good. That is an awesome strategy, especially if you can pull it off in multiplayer. I just didn't need it. Gonna reapply my cool drink. It shouldn't matter, but it's whatever. I have not really been buffing that diligently. I brought them, but I didn't really use them. I'm not, tryharding that much, honestly. This is a chill, repeatable strategy, not an optimized speedrun. Now here, I will be tenderizing the tail because I'm going to go for the max breaks, and I just like having the tail. Alright, that was a decent hit. She'll will do her enrage here, and while this happens, is an excellent time to get a ton of tail damage. This is why a lot of people go for it. Now she's going to turn around. Or not. She just wants to stay like that. We will just tenderize the tail again. I'm going to need to recollect essence. You know the Insect Glaive struggle. Everybody loves the Insect Glaive struggle. I'm going to be hitting a couple random parts now, so it's probably in my best interest to tenderize those. But you can't really tenderize during that. Alright. Damn you. Alright, good. Now I've got a leg to work on. Do-do-do, do-do, do-do. Remember, if you want to focus... Oh, I failed my jump to get out of that. If you want to focus on the chest or the head still, that is a personal choice that you're allowed to do. Classic bad RNG. Man, stop wasting my time, KT. Oh, this is the special knockdown you get with the bomb pods. Looks like I didn't prep it enough, so I didn't get it. That's okay. Alright, well now she's just trolling. Well, that's good, thank you. I suppose I will tenderize the head, if the game will let me. It won't, of course. Classic clutch claw jankery, you know how this game is. I'll just force tenderize the head and hit her a little more in the face. If this was multiplayer, I'd also go for a mount, because a mount here in Area 3 is a great way to get a lot of damage, but I don't need to. Because it's already over. So yeah, not gonna win any speedrun records, especially since I talked a lot and we picked up all the carves, but this is the sort of way that I would consistently farm KT. To summarize, raw hit zone's good, elemental hit zone's bad, gun hit zone's very bad. I didn't mention every zone on KT's body, but believe it or not, none of them are shot weak points except for the chest, and the best way to exploit that is with Pierce Gun. Let's take a look. This quest took 11 minutes, but when I am really going crazy and I'm not carving, it's more like, honestly, a low 7. And of course, if you were using Coalescence and being, you know, very meta, taking a lot of damage, especially Coalescence Heroics, you know, sub 5, not even a question. If you're taking more than 10 minutes, like on average, and you're not making a tutorial or something, you should probably alter your strategy. I'm not sure there's much else to talk about. Elemental hit zones, very bad. Focus raw, prioritize poison if you're going to do a status. Definitely go for the 1 sleep and 1 para if you're a gunner. If not, you know, no big deal. And if you're in multiplayer and you get a sleep early on, probably best to sleep bomb. If somebody has a rock steady mantle, it's very easy for them to clodder her head through the bombs and then immediately combo that into a wallbang. Because remember, the important part of the sleep isn't the bombs, it's the resetting rage and being able to wallbang 1 to 2 more times. That's basically it. I'll hit the set decorations screen on my sets one last time, in case someone missed those. Don't feel bad if you don't have the crazy decorations I do. I mean, I played this game a lot, like over 1,000 hours. You can make something similar without great decorations. We know you can. If you don't have hard fire res and you want to do my strategy, you slot in fire res somewhere and you waste one of your level 1 slots on the other fire res. It's a small downgrade, it's not a big deal. For the sticky gun, there's not a lot of different ways to build Demon Lord Beastbuster. It's a pretty solved equation. If you don't have Fatalis armor, you're probably going to be using Nargacuga so that you can get true spare shot, because I don't think that the Razor Shot charm gives you nearly as much efficiency with sticky ammo. But again, if you don't have Fatalis stuff yet, look up lower rank sticky gun builds. I'm just showing you what's going to happen when you have Fatalis gear. That's basically it. I'm going to get back to grinding this quest. The only thing left to show, just to make sure there's no confusion, is what you do with the parts, so I suppose we'll do that real quick. Down at the Melder, the option's very simple. Try to avoid using her gems, her Golden Dragon's Fires, because when you make a KT weapon, you still need to upgrade it. You upgrade it to level 5, and her gem upgrades all 5 levels instantly. It also gets you 3 weapons at this meld, but that's not a great use for it. So you go to Awakening Alchemy, you go to Cure, skip the Kulve option entirely, and then if you hit left or right, you'll be on this page of Mastering here. These have awesome point values, you'll notice. Well, I mean, the Glintstone has a good point value too, but up here, this is the stuff you want. And so 5 Spiral Horns is exactly 300. 1 Golden Spire too, you know. You hit Meld, it'll save, and you'll see a bunch of weapons you probably already have. The more you do this, the less statistically likely you are to get new weapons. Don't let it worry you too much. If you already have the weapon, simply sell it. If you don't have the weapon, keep it. And that's how you collect KT weapons. This has been a guide, I suppose. Try to do some of this and some quests at KT. Okay, bye!